Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about reattraction and how to make someone feel attracted to you again. So let's say you was with someone who was really interested in you, and now it seems that they've backed off and they're no longer displaying the same feelings as they were. So for example, this could be someone that you went on a few dates with and then suddenly they started to lose interest and started to back off. So what can you do in this kind of situation? So the first thing that you need to do is to really get back off and give them space. The worst thing you could do is to pursue them, to message them and say what went wrong. Things were going really good. I thought we were, things were going great, and then what's going on? What did I do? What did I say? You want to just back off. And one of the things I tell people, a lot in my videos is, grab your phone and see who's doing the most messaging, who is initiating most of the conversations, who is writing the longer messages, who is sending the more frequent messages. And if that's you, then you need to back off and perhaps start moving at their pace. So if they only message you once every 2 days, then you only message them once every 2 days. If they only send like a small paragraph, then you only send a small paragraph, right? Start backing off like that. And if you want to really change the game, sometimes you might even have to do less than what they are doing, right? Because that's going to reveal basically how they truly feel, because that's what you want to know, really. You want to know, have I lost this person? Have they lost interest in me completely? Or are they just not feeling as attracted to me? So basically I'm going to back off, and if they start pursuing me and reaching out to me more, now that I've backed off, that will then tell me where I'm really at, basically. Because if someone really likes you, if someone genuinely, wants to be with you and wants to hang out with you and wants to see you, when you start backing off at the same pace that they've backed off, or even more, then that's when they're gonna start reaching out to you, okay? That's when they're gonna start messaging you, okay? Messaging you more. And whenever they message you, all you have to do is say to them, oh, it's great to hear from you. When would you like to hang out? When are you available? And then when they tell you when they're available, you arrange a date with them, okay? That's all you have to do when they do that, okay? And then you have a great time on that date, you have fun, perhaps you get intimate at the end of the night and things like that, and it goes really well and you have a good time, okay? So that's essentially what you got to do. You got to back off and go a bit silent on them, okay? But it doesn't mean that you become bitter or cold to them. So whenever they do reach out to you, whenever they do message you, you got to be happy. You got to be like enthusiastic that they've messaged you. Don't be cold or mean to them, because that's going to make them not want to reach out to you. Because I see a lot of people doing this mistake. Like, they back off, and then suddenly when they reach out again, the person that kind of feels a bit butthurt that they that this whole thing happened in the first place, starts to be cold and mean to them. And basically, if you want someone to be around you, then they've got to associate positive feelings with you, right? So if you're mean or a bit cold to them when they reach out to you, then they're going to want to back off even more, because they want to feel good about themselves. And if they feel bad about themselves when they reach out to you because you're being mean and cold, then they're not going to want to do that anymore. If they start behaving in the way that you want them to behave, you've got to give them positive reinforcement. Right? They always say, like with animals, you have to give them positive reinforcement. Negative reinforcement, is not going to do anything. It's not going to help the situation. That's why you give dogs treats when they do something that you want them to do, because it's positive reinforcement. So you got to give the dog a treat, right? When they reach out to you and they message you and they're doing the thing that you want them to do, you got to be happy. You got to be like, hey, it's great to hear from you. I'm so happy that you messaged. When are you free to hang out? You got to say something like that. You can't be mean and cold to them. Being mean and cold to them is not going to work, okay? It's not going to, you may feel butthurt and upset, and you may want to be angry and cold to them and bitter to them because they haven't messaged you, but you can't do that. You got to seem like, because they're going to tell, they're going to be able to tell basically that you're butthurt. They're going to be able to tell that you feel resentful towards them by your tone, and how you message them. Or if they call you up, they'll be able to tell by the sound of your voice. If if you message them, they'll be able to tell if you've only put in one-worded answers that you've upset them, and they're going to be able to tell that you're upset, right? And they're going to want to avoid that, right? So basically, what you got to do is whatever they do, you're just the same. If they're there, great, you're happy. If they're not there, yay, you're happy as well. They can do whatever they want. You remain unattached and unaffected by them, okay? And that's the key word there. Whatever they do, you're not affected. You don't care. They can come back after a year and you'll still be like, hey, great to hear from you. right? You don't care, right? You just don't care. Okay, and you're the same person with or without them. You're the same happy-go-lucky person, whether they're there or whether they're not, right? Now, obviously, if someone does message you after a year, after not hearing from them, that's your choice, basically, if you still want to continue hanging out with them. You may just want to ghost them or block their number, because obviously it takes a year for them to message you, then that's not a great thing. Okay, I was just using it as an exaggeration, but to put my point across. But you understand my meaning, okay? So the point is then here, so why do you back off? Then why is it important to not pursue them when they've started to back off and lose interest and you want to reattract them? So if you want to reattract them, then you can't reattract them if you're always in their DMs. They've got to miss you, right? They've got to realize, oh no, they've backed off, I need to do something. I'm losing them, right? Because it may be the case that they've just taken you a little bit for granted. They're like, oh yeah, they always reply, they always message, and perhaps they've just got a little bit bored, but they don't even realize that they have, right? So once they notice you're not messaging anymore, they're going to go, oh no, what do? I should message them, right? Because they can't miss you if whenever they look at their phone, they've got all these notifications from you, whether you've liked what they've said on social media or you've actually messaged them. If they keep on seeing your name come up on their phone, then they're not going to miss you. You need to be silent. They need to look at their phone and there to be nothing from you for a while, okay? Or at least what I said at the beginning, where you are, doing what they're doing. So if it takes them 2 days to reply to you, then you take 2 days to reply to them, or you do a little bit less. Maybe it takes them 2 days to reply to you, so therefore you take 3 days to reply to them, or whatever, right? But the point is, you're not on their phone as much. Whenever they look at their phone, they haven't got a notification from you, okay? So you cannot make someone miss you if you're always in their DMs. You cannot, right? And if you want to reattract someone, they need to miss you, okay? So that's the point. So, what do you do in this time then? Because sometimes, waiting around and, going silent on someone, it can play on your mind a lot. So you need to distract yourself with other things, preferably with things that are good for you. So like meeting up with family and friends. You may want to be posting photos on social media of you hanging out with your family and friends, or get them to tag you in photos so it looks like you're having a busy, active life, things like that. Because that can sometimes, cause a bit of mystery. Like, let's say like you're a guy watching this and you're in a photo with a woman, and let's say this person that you're dating who's lost interest in you doesn't know who this woman is. Like, it could be your cousin, it could be your sister, but they just don't know who this girl is, and they see a picture of you with another woman on social media, and they can think, oh, who's that? And because women are a little bit competitive in that way, they're going to question that. They're going to be like, who's that? Who's that girl? And it's the same, I think, as well, sometimes with men. I think sometimes men react in that way as well. When they see the girl they like, out with, there's a guy in the picture as well. They're like, who? Is she dating that guy? It makes them, basically, because we're like animals, obviously, we're very competitive and stuff, and we're always trying to win. If we like someone, we're always trying to win them over in some sort of way. So if we see a photo of the girl or guy that we like on social media with someone else, we get a little bit competitive. I think mostly it works mostly with women. They get a lot more competitive in that kind of arena, but sometimes it does work on men as well. But it's just something that you need to consider. You don't have to do that if you think it's manipulative or whatever. You do you, right? I'm just giving you some tips that can actually work in these sorts of situations. So start distracting yourself, do things that are good for you, hang out with your family and friends. If you want to post photos on social media, then do, or get your friends and family to tag you in them in order to create that reattraction as well. Sometimes that can really help reattract someone back into your life, okay? So when they do reach out to you, so let's say this works, let's say that they haven't lost interest in you and they are, they reach out to you eventually and you start hanging out with them and dating them once again, then you have to take things slow. Because one of the main reasons why someone loses interest is when they feel like and they back off, it's because they feel like they're being smothered, or they feel like things are happening too fast. Like the relationship is happening, like it's getting to a relationship too fast than what they're ready for. And what you gotta understand is that people fall in love at very different rates. You might be someone who falls in love really, really fast, which is fine. I'm someone who does that. But the person who falls in love faster has to match the pace of the other person. So if the other person is falling in love slower, then you need to match their pace, right? You can't be trying to force that relationship or trying to get too romantic before they've got there. And basically, if they are losing interest, let's say you're out on a date and you say something that maybe may have been a bit cheesy that you was feeling in the moment. Perhaps you was thinking that they were really pretty or something, or handsome, and you said something and you could tell that they sort of backed off a little bit when you said that, or they was like, oh, that's a bit cheesy or something like that. Then you realize that you're moving too fast for them right now. At this current moment, you're moving too fast. So you need to back off and move at their pace. And it's the person who falls in love faster to do that sort of thing, to back off, to be the one that backs off, right? It shouldn't be the person who falls in love slow as, determination, right? It shouldn't be their choice on what to do. It should be the person who falls in love faster's choice to do something and to set the pace, because it's inconsiderate, basically, if you're trying to force things with someone who's not emotionally there yet. It's really selfish, and it usually ends badly anyway, because the other person feels like they're getting smothered and they back off. So you need to, go at their pace, right? And to maybe even go at a pace that they're, go even slower than their pace. So it makes them have to pursue you more. So for example, if you usually met up with them twice a week, then start meeting up with them once a week or once every 2 weeks, just to make it more, just to create more anticipation, basically. So it helps them fall in love because you're giving them time, you're giving them space, you're taking things slow, right? Sometimes you have to do it even slower than what they want in order for them to, be able to develop those feelings for you. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, if you need help with a specific situation, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.